What up? What up? How's everybody doing? Make sure you let me know if you can hear me. Sorry about that brief audio issue. This is a professional stream. You know, I really only do these about once a week because I want to make sure you folks know what I'm thinking. You know how I'm feeling. You know how I'm approaching the market. Let me just get something ready over here. Yes, I just want to make sure you folks have just a general idea of what my thoughts are, right? Because I can't answer every question, and I don't stream like every day. I really only stream about once a week over here on YouTube. You know, please do enjoy the content I have for you on my channel. I've put together like a 300 or 400 video library here in the Trading Encyclopedia. I got a few more to record, 340 videos. This is just a repository of alpha, like trying to learn how to use technical analysis. I guess, as you know, I've studied TA professionally, and I try to teach it to you for free. But I just want you to know, like, what are my thoughts, Cheds? And I can't answer every question, so I like these streams because you get to hang out with me, and I can answer your questions. We can kind of talk things out. Just some quick reminders. I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. We'll go right there. My boy Gooner. I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. This stream is sponsored by where'd it go? It's sponsored by BingX and AlphaX, which is a decentralized exchange that they are backing. This is a great exchange. Check it out. Here's your link to sign up. And again, of course, Bitcoin Live, I do my twice a week full market report with the best team in the world that studies crypto. But really, most of what I do is free, right? I don't know if you've noticed that by now. I try to be really active, like on Twitter, not all the time. I don't tweet for like engagement. I don't have the payments thing. I don't tweet to like, you know, just to get likes and stuff. I try to put out alpha. So just a bunch of charts. Here's some charts, watching these levels. And so that's what I try to generally do, is to provide, you know, I watch the chart, you know, so you don't have to. But as always, for today's stream, we'll cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. We'll look at, you know, altcoins. And if you're hearing my voice, thank you for being here. You know, just say hi in the chat. Let me know what you think. Let me know, like, you know, what you folks want to talk about, because this is your time. And we're here together. Salam, nice to see you. Dan, Daryl, Boleg, Torch, people lining up in the chat. So get those questions ready. I mean, I could go right into your questions, but you know, for the benefit of the folks who are watching on replay, you know, make sure you come live next time. I always do Bitcoin first. So what are we looking at in Bitcoin? And of course, we're in a position where there's a lot of enthusiasm, and it makes sense. We've had a very strong bounce. You know, we've had a very strong bounce off 2021 highs, off this consolidation range from, you know, 2024. Martwan says, unexpected stream. Yeah, but when I stream, it's Tuesday or Friday. And I did one last week, so I'm doing one today. It's a nice bounce off a logical level. And if you remember, even though I've been kind of calling for much lower eventually, I still forecasted this bounce. I still said, like, and this is we're in the mid 70s. I said, you know, basically we're going to drop here, and we should bounce off 62K. If you go to my page, I don't know that it's like the pinned tweet. I think my last stream is the pinned tweet, but I think under highlights, here we go. Like the top highlight, this is explaining that. Go check that out. And I've got other videos explaining basically why. Here we are. And like I basically said, of course, like be ready at this level. And then we got there. It should hold. So it's been no surprise to me that we found support here and we've been bouncing. And I've tried to talk you through how I, on the one hand, could be projecting, you know, my best guess for like a total cycle bottom, but still looking for a bounce. And you have to be able to play the chart. You have to be able to play the price action. And even if it's going to go lower, right, eventually it was due for a bounce, and this was a spot. So we've been following this bounce, doing pretty well. We see kind of a generalized W, breaking the peak. Again, just as I'll review, normally your measured move, you know, would get you up to there. But the issue is the obstacle in the measured move. And I have a video on this. Again, like if you hear me throw out terms and concepts, just go to the encyclopedia. I have a video and everything. But it's just the idea of, you know, I have videos in this. Say you have like a head and shoulders, and like that's your measured move, so you would expect to go there. But if you had like, like a bear rectangle breakdown before this. Like this is all resistance. You can't just assume you're going to break right through resistance. It's the same concept here. So yeah, double W and, double bottom, but, big level just above, right? It's just review again, of course, folks. Big level just above. So for me, again, review, for me to kind of think the bottom's in, we need to flip 85K. I think a weekly close would be logical. And so I've been watching that level. Beautiful move off the bottom and beautiful move into the daily MA 200. As a reminder, MA, when you say MA, that means SMA or simple moving average, right? So people say like DSMA or WSMA or WMA, DMA. There's all this well, these two are not, but these first two are the same. And then we'll go here, we'll go WSMA, WMA. It's the same thing. Daily simple moving average or daily moving average, usually its default is simple, right? As opposed to like a DEMA, which would be a daily EMA 8, right? Which I use the green line exponential moving average. Exponential moving average is, as a reminder, more price sensitive, more price weight into the recent candle. And so the 200 in classical charting is the trend. It's a downtrend. It's priced below, falling MA 200, and you have the first test of the MA 200 in a pretty strong trend. It's a concept I've written about, in my latest book, The Trading Journal, as a potential trading idea. And again, the Trading Journal's free in the Trading Encyclopedia. My books are all free. You can buy them. You can watch them here for free on my YouTube channel. But we've first bounced into the underside of the SMA 200. That's notable. But what's really the most interesting for me is the RSI right now, and kind of the RSI study. If we look at the RSI, again, a bounded oscillator, measuring the speed and pace of price changes, and it's essentially looking at the difference in closes. And, people generally, when they see overbought, they think it's bearish, but really it's bullish, right? The only way to become overbought is to be bullish, and trends tend to continue, and you actually get the biggest price gains like when Bitcoin is quote unquote overbought, right? If you go back and look what has happened, like when the price has been overbought, we've had just the biggest, moves up, right? Hey, Karina, nice to see you. So from an RSI study, it's kind of interesting because if you look at the last couple times the price attempted to enter the power zone, and we'll kind of go back now, the last couple times here was at the top, and then here was at the lower high. And we're right back there. And you kind of see the price churning and consolidating and trying. And I've just, I tweeted about this a few times. And it's watching. It's can we break through? And if we do break through, it would be a buy signal. Not just, in abstract, but generally, because you still want to be playing with the price. I think the best case for bulls here would be a little bit more of a continuation of consolidation, just a little more sideways, what it's doing now. And then you punch through, you get the RSI power zone, you recapture 85, you can have a big move. But there is danger because you've had a very strong mean reversion, a very strong move against the trend. And of course, the primary trend is the uptrend, the secondary trend is the downtrend. The minor trend are these consolidations. And again, these are Dow theory terms. These are all CMT terms. And I write about them in my books. You can read about them in any classical charting textbook. But this is a mean reversion against the trend, right? Here's the trend. Here's the MA 200. And you'd have to go to the weekly to kind of pull up a larger trend. But we even move into the 200, move into the RSI where it's rejected the last couple times, and just below super, super, super critical level. A lot of people are watching 85K as a level that the price needs to reclaim in order to really say the bottom's in, okay? So in the meantime, we're looking at more local. Local means nearby. Price levels, of course, you kind of identify, 76K, and then you're going to identify 80K, right? And you've had a little, and so I pulled up here like, boom. So I said, working on daily throwback to local range peak, right? So range peak, what's a range peak? Here's your range. Say here's your range. A little bit sloppy, but you get the point. Throwback to local range peak, right? Bullish throwback meaning a bullish retest. So I try to explain every term. I don't know how many of you are nerdy academic TA guys like me. You're just casually watching. I throw out a lot of terms. I'm not trying to sound smart. I don't know if I ever could sound smart, but I've created this, again, library, the Trading Encyclopedia. People ask me many times, like, what should I do to start? I want to learn. I mean, this is it. 340. They're all 3-4 minute videos. You know, short attention span. Just watch it. So we're essentially doing throwbacks to 80K. Important to watch locally, right? Very, very important locally to watch 80K as the price attempts to kind of hit that next gear. It attempts to go fourth to fifth gear, you know, reclaim the daily MA 200 and all that. Now, the market's really interesting. There's a bunch of altcoins that were just ripping yesterday. I want to kind of get to that, but I want to cover other stuff first. I want to cover just Ethereum real quickly, and then I want to take your questions, and then I'll cover what I want to cover. Ethereum, just nothing, right? We know it's weak to Bitcoin. We see that in the pair. I don't need Ethereum BTC pair to kind of just see the weakness here and continued inability to break 2,400. It needs to hold 2,150 here on what looks to be a pending retest, or it is headed for Goblin Town. So I'll just watch these two levels closely. Before I go through the rest of my list, I want to look at the SPY queues. I want to look at some big board stuff. I want to look at a lot of altcoins. I'm going to go to the chat room, see what you guys want to talk about. Solemn Capital asked me about Tau first. We'll do your request first because you were early bird gets the worm type of thing here. So, yeah, I mean, you see the idea of an inverted head and shoulders here, and you actually have the idea of the higher right shoulder, which is a sign of more bullish strength. If you think about the construction of head and shoulders, you know, say even shoulders, that's not as even, but even shoulders, you could have like a lower right shoulder, a little bit weaker. And then in this case, where you have the higher right shoulder, it's actually better performing. So there's a little bit of bull strength here. And you also have kind of a rising neck baseline. So this is actually a pretty, well, I'd say pretty, but more than slightly favorable for bulls to at least push and retest these highs here. It's hard. You can't really say, here's the problem though. You can't say this structure is reversal such that you're going to go all the way to 600 because there's nothing really to reverse. You're essentially reversing sideways or very mild downtrend. So I like the higher low. That should be watched. I like the price pushing up into overhead. And I think it's got a pretty good shot to get up into the low of the mid 400s, which is what I would say about Tau. Rocket Lab, just insane. Beautiful breakout. Clearly, nice acceleration and continuation. A little bit of an upper shadow. We'll see where today's candle closes. You got 4 hours left. I wouldn't really necessarily overinterpret it. Probably does some type of a falling channel, bullish continuation, and goes from there. All right, we got you there. Good job, Sam. Toby Sandisk, sure. SNDK. So I'll do a couple requests and then I'm going to float around just to kind of make sure I don't get off track. Sandisk, beautiful EMA 8 rise. Beautiful uptrend. This and Micron, just insane. Even Intel. Base, break, kind of a breakaway gap, continuation. Now this is a great example of what's called primary, or rather what's called by me, primary uptrend support. I have a video specifically on primary uptrend support in, you guessed it, the Trading Encyclopedia. EMA 8, right? And then you watch essentially for secondary trend strength and maybe start to catch up to the 34. Usually get a bounce from there and then you'd see, right? So for now, EMA 8 looking clean. BE as well. And then I'll do my list and I'll get back to you. The rest of your requests. Bloom Energy. Okay, looks pretty good. I mean, could be island top, right? But also this could have been and it wasn't and it continued. So we see a general volume trend. You would guess this continues. Certainly, as long as it holds kind of the 240 range, would be my best guess. Let's go to, so I'll go through these, but let me do big board stuff first, and then I'll get back and do kind of more alt. We're looking at the SPY, just kind of insane. Got the same EMA 8 climb. No warning signs yet. Looks quite beautiful. Q's incredibly strong as well. So both SPY and Q's are interesting. And it's notable that Bitcoin's kind of just been chilling and not enjoying this type of even rabid strength that we've been seeing in the NASDAQ. Okay, so that is interesting to me. I know like copper had a breakout. That's super strong. Nice continuation here. See if it can build a base of that level. Gold kind of chilling, not as strong as silver. Silver's been a little bit stronger. We see the lower high break. You'd like to see that base continuing. So let's go over a couple charts that had been looking decent, and then I'll make it back to the question. Now, SOL, big bounce right into range peak. It's been an underperforming chart. I don't love it, but you can certainly play this level for a trade on a break of 95, 96. I'd probably short here, though, because it's a downtrend bouncing into resistance. And again, any kind of short, manage your risk nearby. I wouldn't hold above like 98, 99, okay? TRX, one of the best looking charts, nice bullish throwback in continuation, not an unexpected pause here at kind of a broader range high. By the way, happy Tuesday, everybody. I don't know if I said that yet. XRP is doing nothing. Zcash is super strong. We know this has been one of the best looking charts, building rising demand throwback, and now another throwback or another bullish retest. If it fails here, I wouldn't panic. You might have a nice opportunity around 390. BNB, I saw some people tweeting it. Nothing really doing for me. XMR, nice break out of this base. Want to see it continue to hold 380. Let's clean up hype a little bit. Generally, hype has been doing the stair stepping. And if I go too quickly, you folks can ask me specific questions in any of these charts. Want to see it hold there. DEXE, underside retest. Possibly a short setup here with invalidation just above. Talked about Tau. Venice has been insane. One of the stronger charts, perhaps a bearish pin bar, but we don't want to overinterpret. Maybe just, retracement to EMA 8, GST, another nice looking chart we've been talking about. Nice flirting with continuation on really a secondary level hold on the MA20. Dusk heading back to an important test, 11.5. Doge, it's okay, getting a little bit better. The bull break of a descending triangle. Want to see it hold 10.7. We talk about gold and silver. TON, insane move. This is a bull pennant, though, or a bull flag, depending on how you want to mark it up. Bullish consolidation, really high and tight. If you want to know high and tight is, I have a video on the concept of high and tight, where the price consolidates within the range of the flagpole. Somebody asked me to cover this for Bitcoin Live. I don't really care about that crap. And this is something else that was just added to the little, oopsie. Okay, sorry. We already covered these. All right, so let's get back to your requests. And then I have one more list of altcoins that I want to go to just to kind of brainstorm some ideas with you folks. Let's see, SanDisk, we covered that. Can I look at chili cheese? Sure, Karina. I have it on this other list here. Chili cheese dog. It had been looking pretty strong. Something to do like a World Cup type of a bounce. Rejection here at 50 cents, drifting back into kind of this rising demand structure. You can call it, people call it a trend line. Oh, it broke the trend line. For me, it either breaks the trend or not. Like the line doesn't matter because the line is describing the trend. So it looks like a pending or upcoming test of this rising demand structure. And then you would also want to see, given this failure here, you kind of watch that important higher low as well. So it's a little bit of weakness. It's more of a ranging sideways chart. I would be incredibly patient until it can reclaim 50 cents is what I would say. You say the chart back to 2021. You said it's a compelling case of accumulation. Well, let's see if I agree. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't agree at all. I mean, this is just absolute trash. This is, if it had held up here, maybe, but this is just absolutely. Let's see what the OBV is doing. Let's see what the OBV, the on balance volume, right? Index, momentum indicator, index indicator. There's not really evidence of strong accumulation. It's just kind of doing nothing. There's no real volume. I don't see it. I don't see the evidence of, like you said, of 5 years of accumulation. Absolutely not. I don't see that at all. This looks like a slow bleed back to 2 cents. I said 50 cents earlier. I meant 5 cents, obviously. So no, this is a weak chart. I would probably play something else. It's not terrible, but I'd probably play something else. ONDS. That's, what is that? That's Ondas. Sounds Spanish. Is that Spanish? Wow. Okay. Pretty strong looking chart. I'd seen people mentioning this. I've never actually looked at it myself. I'll take a look at Micron as well, as requested. Crazy Greek Freak. It's a nice test of the MA200 here. Prices flattened out a little bit. You can generally see a tightening range expressed, right? And we're getting to the kind of the apex. Let's do it this way. We're getting to the apex of that. If you want to know what the apex is, I have a video specifically on that concept of the apex. Also have a video on what here, symmetrical triangles, which is what this is. This is getting pretty close. I think, but more importantly, you just want to see if lows can be defended, and I think that would be important here around like $8. It's a bullish chart. Looks pretty good. OBV is still strong. No warning sign. This chart likely is going to have bullish continuation. Is that Purina Dog Chow? Am I crazy? No. Okay. Hyperliquid strategy. Oh yeah, that's so funny. I thought you were talking about Purina. It's a pretty good looking chart. I mean, there's not a ton of history, so I can't really do too much TA on this. It's a nice rising channel so far. There's not much TA you can really do, in my opinion, on this. I would just kind of start to draw key levels and see if it holds, like here around 560. It's a little bit too young a chart for me, too new a chart. And you had asked about Micron. Let's take a look at El Micron, which has just been insane. The question was, where is Micron support level? Well, EMA 8 first, aka the concept. I almost said concept. Concept of primary uptrend support. I have it in here somewhere. I mean, I obviously have EMA versus SMA. That will explain it as well. But primary uptrend support as well. And then I would say right here around 520. Now, when you ask what is support, I mean, this question is really on what time frame. And so what time frame you're trading it. If we wanted to, narrow down, we're getting kind of more micro, to kind of, micro for Micron. You could say, well, there's a little bit of support here as well. Sure. Right. There's a little bit of support here in that range, 670, but kind of a broader standpoint. I think maybe down here around 530, but first EMA 8. So that first level would line up right there. It was just a really strong chart. Get it in essentially an evening star here, evening doji star. We'll see where it closes. I try not to overinterpret a candle it's only halfway through this candle. It's like looking at a weekly chart for crypto on a Wednesday. I don't think that's a great idea. Let's see. We covered all that stuff. Aylesboro, thanks for being here, man, says, what is my opinion on Sui? Sui's pretty strong, actually. Let me see. I have it in here. What do we got? Where are you at? There we go. Sui's pretty strong. Not an unexpected rejection, kind of at lost support. And this is almost similar to really Bitcoin's structure at 85K. If you kind of look at and you imagine this is Bitcoin's 85K and it's Bitcoin bouncing into the underside of the 200, pretty similar. So we're seeing not an unexpected rejection there. Okay, beautiful base break, double bottom or rounding bottom. Okay, if you want to call it, here's your breakout. Pretty nice little move, pause, and it's consolidating on decent, light enough volume, which is good. For example, if you'd seen the green candle here, but red candle up here, that would be a warning sign. So still pretty clean, healthy consolidation. Hard to say if it drifts all the way back down to 106. You might just get like a 50% retracement of the candle, and then you would kind of look to see around like 116 support. What is IBX? Martwan, what is this one? What are you throwing at me? This weird name, IBEX 35. What's up with these names? Like, who comes up with these names? Is it IBEX Unlimited? Or was it IBEX 35? Let's go here. IBEX 35. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Spain 35. See, I'm an idiot. See, I told you I can't sound smart, even if I tried. That's the Spain 35. I mean, yeah, but that's kind of a topping look a little bit. No? Maybe continuation head and shoulders. But I don't know. A lot of volume here for non-top. Bunch of volume here. I mean, it's clearly an uptrend. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I don't have a clean read on the chart, but it kind of looks topping to me. Short-term topping is just my thing. Karina says, love your feedback. That's all I've got. I mean, I'm throwing on an orange mask and I'm just hanging out with you. I'm not here to like blow smoke. I may give myself credit for some good calls and some bad calls. I'll point them out, but I'm just keep doing my best, folks. So thank you. Thoughts on Whirlpool stock? I was a holder, but I sold a few months back because I'm just like, this thing just looks terrible. I saw this, and I'm not trying to put my fundamentals hat on because I don't even own the hat. I have a cheese hat, but fundamentals hat. I saw the guy say that, like, retail or consumer demand is at like super low levels, and that makes sense. This is just a bad chart. I just wouldn't hold here, and I didn't. I sold. Be interesting to see, what it does, and probably when it drops like 50% from here, it's probably going much lower. What was your question about it, though? You said long-term investment. I'd say no. I'd say don't. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, it's Whirlpool and it's gonna be around forever. Not really. I'd rather long-term invest in like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, right? If you want to long-term invest, right? Don't buy like, and again, this could age well or poorly, but don't buy like Best Buy, right? Like why don't invest in retail? Invest in like energy, invest in like even JP Morgan or, like Ford or something, like those are things that are going to be around like this long-term investment. And again, I'm not an investment analyst. I'm a simple old price trend dude, but this is just telling me you don't want to hold this. And it's Whirlpool. And I got burned with this on like Walgreens. I get burned with this and some other stuff, learning that lesson where you think, oh, of course, it's a name brand, but like things change. And come on, man, Whirlpool. So I'd say probably not. Yeah, Martuan says IBEX is Spanish index. I should know that, right? But it's funny. I really am crypto specialized. I'm trying to branch out. As you know, I eat and breathe. I'll do near. I eat and breathe, Bitcoin. I mean, I know the chart like the back of my hand. Fetch was requested. Let's do that. And then I'll try to go down this list. So let's try to catch up on some of these requests. And I want to cover all these for you. So what do we got? We got Fetch in here somewhere. Fetch, I think of Chevy Chase, the movie Fetch. So Fetch, what do we think? Yeah, kind of an underperforming stock, underperforming chart. I mean, why doesn't the market like it? Look at these lower highs. Filecoin's been bouncing. Some of this other stuff's been bouncing. This just looks flat. This looks kind of absent demand. I just don't see a lot of strength or demand here. Maybe you disagree. I just think it looks weak. I'd probably play something else. Celestia, sure. I did tweet out Celestia recently. I basically said, we are right there. Here, you're working on a key level. We'll see how we've done. So I just tweeted this out last night, and that's it. It's at a key level. This is an important level, and it's kind of like Fartcoin had a reversal like this, or near, which I'll cover in a second, where you have support, kind of a failed double bottom here, and you look to see when the price reclaims it. It tried to reclaim it here, failed, and now it's doing a little bit better, but it's still working on a key area. So I'd be patient. If once it clears 47, 48 cents, I think you could probably take a long on this one. All right, and then near was requested as well. Let's get rid of these non-crypto ones so I don't confuse myself. I'm getting old, folks, so I'm trying not to confuse myself. What did I just say? Near, right? Let's take a look at near. And for those of you who are just joining, I covered Bitcoin in the beginning. Okay, and I'll do it at the end. I kind of do the Oreo cookie method, right? Yeah, I mean, so near had an important reclaim, and it's still holding 145, 160. So this is like what we were just looking at. This is like Celestia, but just a little bit more further progressed. So just very clearly, you want to see if this can hold 148, and then maybe it can make a bounce to 185. It still has some ways to go, but you have some momentum recapture, which is an important first start. Let me catch up. So we did near. Let's see. Could I take a look at Troll? Sure. I don't know that I've heard of this one. I am playing a game where I fight trolls. It's called Valheim. It's kind of cool, like a survival type of thing. All right, let's go here. Qcoin, clutch with the history. Beautiful bounce. Beautiful bounce. I mean, that's pretty obvious. You don't have to be a CMT to see that. Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful bouncing continuation. What does it do from here? I mean, sure, Evening Star. Maybe it kind of just comes back and grabs the EMA 8. Looks pretty good for now. I think just going forward, the first step would be to see if it can hold here at the midpoint of the prior candle and essentially reclaimed, lost support where you had the descending triangle breakdown. So I would just watch there. Very, very strong move. No real warning signs in what we're seeing. So far as consolidation, let me just rip through this list real quick to see if there's anything worth talking about. Yep, these all look terrible. Uni got rejected there. Big surprise. You can just short downtrends when they bounce, folks. I'm telling you. Instead of trying to long these things, just short them when they bounce. SPX really setting up for a short if it fails to hold right here. This is a big spot. Bounce into major underside. Critical spot. Dot, just nothing. Litecoin, nothing really. Super tight Bollingers, but just nothing happening. Cosmos, what do we think about it? I mean, if it can flip and hold $2, then maybe we're talking about something. We'll take a look at Circle as well in a second, Toby. Fartcoin, break and throwback, and this is exactly what we have here. This, do, and then we have that, and then right back to there. It's exactly what that is. Covered SUI. Mon looks okay if it can hold there. Not a ton of history, though. Big bounce in ONDO, not to be confused with ONADs or whatever the other on Ondas. Beautiful move in relative strength and clear accumulation. So I'd be surprised if this one just goes back down here. I think it probably finds support somewhere in this range and then tries to break out again. H-bar, nothing happening. Apex, nothing. Pepe, break and throwbacks. We're seeing a bunch of these throwbacks and bullish retests. Pump, rejection at a key level. Curve, break, base, break. This is a rounding base. It's not a very wide base. There's not a ton of volatility here, but it's still a rounding base break and essentially doing a throwback. However, we have a tweezer top forming. Useless. Nice break here. Nice bounce. Let's clean it up a little bit. Take a fresh look at it. Want to see that hold. Want to see that level hold next. Horizon, not much going on here. Kind of flat sideways chart. Recovered CHC, fetch, dash. See if we can hold here. Covered that. Link, there we go. Now we're heading back for a throwback. I did tweet out when this one had the ascending triangle breakout. Now we're doing the bullish throwback. We talked about Venice, talked about Tau. Stellar Lumens, terrible. Avi's doing nothing. Super's weak. JST, talked about that. Good looking chart. Luna Classic, a little bit of mojo here. I'm not sure why, but definitely a decent amount of strength here in Luna Classic. I might have to start watching it closely, a little bit closer. Let's put a little tag there. Bounce into lower high in ICP. Ton we talked about. Rose, nothing doing. EGLD, base break maybe, but I would just watch here. This level up. A little bit higher. It's a thing where how do you watch every chart? Well, I watch them for you. I try to keep an eye on the key levels so you don't have to go crazy. Now, INJ, look at that. That is notable. ING, break, brief consolidation. Watch here in the throwback. It's kind of interesting. Let's put that also. I'll make a note. Keep a little eye. Just one. We covered Troll. All right, let's go back to this main watch list. Real quickly on Bitcoin. Beautiful bounce off of 60K. As really kind of expected, we got the weekly overreaction with the long lower shadow. Price response at 2021 highs. Lower high break, pausing just below the level, which to me would signify that the bottom is in. But what's notable and really interesting, there may be arguably several things notable. What's interesting to me is the price attempt to re-enter the power zone and what the implications of that would be. We see the last two times. Let's see if I've got it. The last two times the price attempted to re-enter the power zone was right here and right here. And here we are again. Okay. Now, re-entering the power zone would be a buy signal given the price response. Look at these gains. You usually have pretty strong gains, right? So we'll see if that happens, but it's corresponding with the fact that we're just below this major level. So what do you do going forward? We're going to watch 80K. First line in the sand for sure. 76K below, and you kind of go from there. Let's get back to the chat. Okay, that re-summarized Bitcoin for everybody. Let's see. All these pumps feel like 2022. I know what you mean, brother. Circle's been nuts. Circle has been really, really, really strong. Great group today, folks. Everybody, thank you for being here. I hope you're all having a great week and everything. Circle, what is the question? Any long levels? I mean, yeah, retest of 108 would be interesting. So keep an eye there. You've got rising demand building as well. You can kind of see this. Try this 1/3 time. Rising demand as well. So I would keep an eye on 110, 108. Nice looking chart, decent looking chart. Certainly a lot of local or nearby momentum. So I'm going to wrap it up, folks. That's been fun. I could go longer, but I have a lot of yard work to do. I wanted you to know what my thoughts were. I generally am going to stream about once a week, Tuesday or Friday. I'm teaching you professional TA for free. It's my honor to be here. When I'm not live, you really should take advantage of the video library. I published 4 books. They're all free. I've got the 350 video library, the trading encyclopedia, teaching you TA, classical charting, candlestick theory. And you can always just follow along with me on Twitter at Big Cheds. I may see your replies, I may not, but I enjoy all the interactions. And a quick reminder, the stream is sponsored by BingX and AlphaX, their decentralized exchange. I've worked with BingX for like 6 years. I have a great relationship. If you're looking for a new DEX, you can trade like stocks and everything on there as well, crypto and TradFi futures. Check out the link if you're looking for somewhere to exchange, to trade. And of course, Bitcoin Live. I've been with Bitcoin Live since 2018, and I do a report every Wednesday and Sunday. I've only missed that once. So that's dedication. And when you sign up, you get access to the entire team's work. I'm just honored to be part of it. So feel free, if you're looking for more, you want to hear more from me, you can always ask me questions. I reply to every question there. But I try to pretty much do as much as I can for free. I want to give back. I want to connect with you. And you give back by showing up to these streams and just like hanging out. So just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And the way I'm going to show you my thanks is by dancing. We're going to dance together. I'll dance on the way out. Church of 8 Wheels, and just have an awesome day, folks. And just really thankful that you're here, okay? Oh, what indicators the RSI power zone? Says David, that's the RSI. And I have a video specifically on the RSI, and then I have a video specifically on the concept of overbought and oversold here, right? You just go watch his video, RSI overbought, oversold. It's in everything you're asking. Look at it. It's all here, Trading Encyclopedia. So let's dance, let's have fun, and let's have our Ethereum thoughts. Again, just a quick review. Needs to break 2,400. It's flat. It's weak to Bitcoin. Needs to hold 2,150. Okay? Let's have fun and let's do this.